Over the last few weeks, I've been exploring Google's collection of AI tools, and I genuinely couldn't believe how much stuff Google was giving away for free. And the crazy part, most people have never heard of them. So in this masterclass, we're taking you beyond Google's chatbot. We'll explore the hidden features of Gemini, AI Studio, NotebookLM, Opal, Learn Your Way, Stitch, Pomelli, and Flow. And how we'll learn them is by building real projects together. This isn't a quick overview, it's a hands-on masterclass. So keep this video on one side, open your laptop on the other, and build along with me step by step. I also have a small surprise for you. This masterclass is probably my longest video yet, but it's still not enough to teach you everything there is to know about AI. So if you'd like to go deeper, I'm teaching a free AI masterclass this weekend. The program runs for 2 days, a total of 16 hours, and I, along with other expert trainers, will help you go from zero to pro in AI. We'll cover over 20 AI tools, show you how to use AI in your day-to-day work, build AI agents, master prompt engineering, and create automations that save you hours every week. The best part is that it's completely free. Don't miss it. Sign up using the link in the description. Now, let's dive into the video. The first tool we're going to start with is Gemini. Most people think Gemini is Google's version of a chatbot. That's like saying a smartphone is a calculator. Because hidden inside Gemini are tools that can research markets, generate images, build websites, create videos, teach you new skills, and even run tasks automatically while you sleep. So instead of talking about what Gemini can do, let's build something together. By the end of this section, you'll have created a complete marketing campaign for a brand new Nike running shoe launching in India using nothing but Gemini. That means doing the market research, the campaign poster, the cold outreach emails, a clickable landing page, and even a video ad end to end. And along the way, you'll learn the exact workflows that make Gemini far more powerful than most people realize. Let's start. We're on the Gemini home screen now. I know you've seen this before, but let's do a quick tour of the features so we know you've not missed anything. On the left, you've got your chats, your search, and a library where everything you generate gets saved automatically, from your images to your videos. When you click on this plus sign, you can upload files, create an image, create a video, or build a canvas. And tucked under more tools is the feature we want to start with right now. Deep research. So what is deep research in plain English? It's where Gemini goes and reads dozens of websites and writes you a proper report. The best way to think about it is that you're handing a research analyst a brief and getting a full document back, except this version is free. Let's test it out. Pay close attention to how this prompt is built, because the way you structure it is the whole game. Research the running shoe market for 2026. How large is the category? Who are the top 3 competitors? What are the gaps in the sub 30-minute 5K training segment? And what is the most realistic campaign angle for a new Nike launch targeting urban runners in India? Notice what that prompt is doing. You're giving Gemini one clear topic, and then you're stacking specific questions underneath it. How big is the market? Who's winning? Where's the gap? And what you're actually supposed to do with all of it. Before you run it, there are 2 quick settings to note. You'll want to pick the thinking model because this is heavy lifting and you want depth rather than speed. And under sources, you'll tick search only since there's nothing in your Gmail or Drive yet for it to pull from. Now, Gemini doesn't just run off and start researching. First, it shows you a plan. In this case, it's telling you it will size the market, find the top 3 competitors, study that sub 30-minute runner, dig into urban running across Bengaluru, Mumbai, and Delhi, and then turn all of it into a campaign idea. The best, most useful part is that you can edit this plan before it begins. So if it missed something, you fix it right here. Since ours already covers everything you asked for, you can hit Start Research. Now we watch it work. At the bottom, you can watch the source counter climbing from 23 websites to 29. It's reading real websites and pulling actual numbers rather than hallucinating them. A few minutes later, you get a full report covering the 2026 running shoe market, the competitor dynamics, the gaps, and a strategy built specifically for urban India. It tells you how fast the category is growing each year, who holds what share, and where the money actually is. It names the big players and then it finds the real gap. Expensive carbon plate racing shoes simply don't suit the everyday runner who's just trying to run 30 minutes. And nobody has built a solid mid-range shoe for that person. and then it does the exact thing you asked for, which is to hand you a campaign. It comes back with Nike After Dark, Outrun the Street, a night running campaign built for Indian cities with their chaotic streets, monsoon rain, and late night runs to beat the heat. And it even pairs it with a product, the Pegasus 41 Shield. So deep research has built the campaign data, and now you get to bring it to life. What you need now is a visual. So let's head back to the plus sign and choose Create Image. Before you build your own, it's worth looking at the templates because there are dozens of styles already built for you. Technicolor, Cinematic, Sketch, Gothic, and more. Which means that if you have no idea where to start, you just pick a look and go. Let's give you a quick demonstration of how templates work. You can take the Technicolor style and ask for a person looking in a mirror holding a watch. And within seconds, you get something clean, realistic, and vibrantly lit. That's the model called Nano Banana doing the work for you. Templates are useful, but they're really just training wheels. So for your actual campaign, you're going to write a proper prompt to generate the image scratch. Remember the angle the research handed you, night running on Indian streets. So let's brief the image the same way you'd brief a photographer with a detailed prompt like this. A lone runner mid-stride on an empty wet city street at 11 p.m. Shot from low angle, slightly behind and to the left. Motion blur on the legs, sharp on the torso. We provide it with a few more details about the text, logo, and aspect ratio as well. And then press enter. Notice how specific every part of that is. You're giving it the camera angle, the lighting, what's blurry and what's sharp, the exact text on the poster, and the colors we want. This isn't a basic prompt like make me a cool shoe ad. It reads like a real creative brief, and the more detail you give it, the closer you get to something that actually works professionally. When it comes back, you get a black and white runner on a wet street at night, the breath fogging in the cold, the orange swoosh, and the headline sitting exactly where you asked for it. After dark, before anyone. You've just created a campaign visual, but is it actually any good? Let's ask Gemini to play the role of a creative director and critique it now. Just upload the poster it made and give it a prompt like this. Read this campaign visual as a buyer in 3 seconds. Is the headline legible at thumbnail size? Does the visual hierarchy work? What would a creative director fix first? The breakdown it gives back is specific and genuinely useful rather than a vague looks great comment that we'd usually get from friends and colleagues. It tells you the headline is highly legible because that bold font holds up against the dark street, and that the poster still works at small sizes thanks to the heavy text and high contrast. It even walks you through the visual hierarchy, explaining that your eye moves from the runner up the breadth, down the text, and lands on the logo, which is exactly how a poster is supposed to read. And then comes the things we need to fix. It points out that the breath vapor looks slightly artificial and disconnected from the runner's face, and that a real director would blend it so it feels more natural. Great. So now we have a critique. Let's make the fix. Just give it a simple instruction. Fix the issue you mentioned above about the breath vapor looking artificial and disconnected from the runner's face. Make it look more real. Since it already knows exactly what you're referring to, it regenerates the same poster with that single change. And when you look at the breath now, it's softer, more natural, and properly connected to the runner. That was quite effortless. Let's level up. Everything so far has been a fresh prompt you've typed. But what if you could replace that? Often we have jobs we end up doing over and over again. Gemini has a tool to fix exactly that. It's in settings and it's called Gems. The simplest way to think about a gem is this. It's an assistant you train once for one specific job, and from then on, it just knows how to do that job every single time. Google has already built a few for you, including a storybook, coding partner, a career guide, and a writing editor. Look at the storybook gem. You tell it to make a claymation storybook about friendly bees to help kids stop being scared of them, and it builds a full 10-page picture book. The cover, the illustrations, the story, all of it, turning a single line into a whole children's book. That's their pre-built example, so let's build one on our own. Let's build it around the Nike campaign itself. First, you need to give it context. So you take that entire market research, upload it, and ask it to understand the PDF fully so that now it knows your whole campaign inside out. Now we're going to use a trick that saves a lot of effort. You don't have to write the instructions for your gem yourself. You ask Gemini to write them for you. You tell it you want a gem that writes cold outreach emails for this campaign, and it produces the full instruction set for you. the persona, the email rules, the tone, and exactly what details it should ask for, which you simply copy. Now let's create the gem. You click on New Gem, name it the Nike Outreach Gem Campaign, give it a short description, and paste in those instructions so it now plays the role of a Nike India Outreach specialist who writes punchy, localized emails. Let's now give it 2 finishing touches to make it powerful. First, set its default tool to deep research so that every time it runs, it researches first instead of guessing. And under knowledge, you upload the market report so the gem permanently knows your market size, your product, and your angle. Once you save it, you've essentially built your own AI employee that handles cold outreach, knows the whole campaign, and doesn't forget details. Now let's put it to work. Let's ask the gem to draft outreach emails for a partnership with 1-8, which is Virat Kohli's brand. We simply type that we want emails pitching a Nike collaboration with 1-8 for this campaign. And because we set it up thoroughly, it goes and does research first. It reads up on 1-8 on Nike and on the partnership angle before it writes a single word. And then what comes back isn't one email but 2, written in 2 different ways along with the full reasoning behind them. It even works out who to send them to, Bunty Sada, the business partner at 1-8, and which city to target, which is Bengaluru. The first variation is punchy and direct. The subject line is Bengaluru's 4,500 potholes versus 1-8's next run. That number came out of your research. The email pitches the Pegasus 41 Shield as the shoe built for broken Indian roads and night runs and asks for a trial pair for Virat and the team this week, which makes it a real contextual email. The second variation makes the same pitch but tells it as a story. It opens at 11 p.m. on a wet Bengaluru road in the middle of the monsoon, paints the picture, and then makes the case, softer and more emotional, with the same facts but a completely different feel. You can pick the one you like best. The best payoff of building the gem properly is that every result is on brand, grounded in real research, and follows your directions without you having to re-explain a single thing. So now we have our emails. Now let's do something that normally requires both a designer and a developer, turning this entire report into a live clickable website. You don't need to be a coder or know any design skills either. Just open your research, hit create, and choose web page. Without you telling it anything at all about colors or layout, it designs the whole thing itself and comes back with a clean dashboard, in this case called Run Metrics 2026, that takes everything from your research and makes it interactive. It even builds a chart you can hover over to see the market share brand by brand, which means a static report can become engaging and useful. There are tabs too. One section breaks down the product gaps where you click to expand each opportunity, and another lays out the entire India campaign strategy, including the concept it calls Concrete Zen, running as an escape from the chaos of the city. Best of all, you can download the whole thing as a real web page and host it anywhere, which means that in a single click, a research document has become a website you could send to your boss, your client, or your team. Before we move on, let's take a quick but important detour. Gemini gives you different models like Flash and Thinking. Picking the right one changes the answers you get, so let me demonstrate it to you with one question. You're going to ask the exact same thing to 2 different models. Should Nike India go after urban runners, gym goers, casual streetwear buyers, or college athletes for the first campaign push? Let's start with the Flash model, which is the fastest model built for quick everyday answers. It's good. It tells you to go after urban runners, gives you a clean comparison table, and lays out solid reasoning all in a matter of seconds. Now ask the same question to the Thinking model and watch the difference. It takes longer because it's actually reasoning through the problem, and it comes back with a different answer entirely. It tells you not to pick just one, but to go after gym goers and casual streetwear buyers together, and then it explains why. Nike is pushing back into stores across smaller Indian cities and needs volume rather than a niche. Did you notice how the 2 models disagreed with each other? Flash gave you a fast, clean answer, while Thinking gave you a deeper, more strategic one. So the moral is this: use Flash for the quick solutions you need, but when the decision genuinely matters and there's real money on the line, use Thinking, because the extra weight is worth it. This next feature is one of my favorites, and almost nobody uses it. Guided learning. It isn't Gemini answering for you. Instead, it's Gemini teaching you, like a tutor. Let me show you. Just upload your research again, but instead of asking for an answer this time, you ask to be taught. Let's give it a prompt like this. Teach me how to tell if a product launch campaign like this, that's run by Nike, is actually working. Go step by step, check what I already know first, use simple examples, pull a visual and quiz me at the end. Look at how that prompt is built because you can reuse it for absolutely anything you want to learn. You're telling it exactly how to teach you. Here's the result. It introduces the marketing funnel, which in plain English is simply the journey a customer takes from first hearing about the shoe to thinking about it to buying it to coming back. And it explains it using your Nike campaign as the running example. Then, instead of just dumping information on you, it stops and asks you a question. What signs do you think Nike would look for to know whether people in Mumbai or Bengaluru are even noticing the campaign? It's checking what you know, exactly like a real teacher would. You answer in your own words, saying, for instance, that you track search interest and how many people show up to the night runs. It gives you feedback, telling you that's spot on, that this is precisely how you measure awareness, building on your answer rather than talking over you. At the very end comes the quiz, where it gives you a scenario. The campaign got plenty of attention, but people didn't buy it. We work out that the price was the barrier and it confirms it, even adding the detail that Nike had to discount the shoe heavily to clear unsold stock. So think about what just happened. You didn't simply get an answer, you actually learned how to read a campaign yourself. You can use this for any subject you want to understand now. You have a free tutor. We've gone through so many features of Gemini already, but there's two more that you just can't miss. The first one gets Gemini to work while you sleep. It's called scheduled actions, and how it works is that you set up a task once and it runs on its own on whatever schedule you choose. Google gives you some templates to start with, a daily news digest, a joke of the day, morning motivation. So you can set the news one to reach you at a fixed time each day, and from then on, a news summary simply appears at that time daily. The real value, though, isn't building your own. So let's create something genuinely useful for anyone growing an audience on social media with an action like this. Make a post every day at 5:15 p.m. about all the latest updates in AI and give it to me as an infographic. You set it to run daily and save it. So now, every single day, Gemini researches the latest in AI and hands you a ready-made infographic, enough to feed an entire content channel without you lifting a finger. And it connects to the tools you already use, including Gmail, Calendar, and Docs, as well as services outside Google like GitHub, Asana, HubSpot, MailChimp, and Salesforce. So these scheduled tasks aren't trapped inside a chat box, they plug straight into the apps you already run your work on. This last one is the showstopper. Gemini can make videos for free for you using the new Omni model. Let's test this out using a more fun prompt. Start by getting a title. Let's ask for a video title for the final winning shot by RCB in IPL 2026, and it fires back a set of options. The dramatic one, the high energy one, and you settle on the punchy one. Champions, watch RCB's final winning delivery. Then let's move on to the video itself. And just like with images, there are templates to choose from, including anime, 8-bit, and plush world. So let's pick the plush world toy look. From there, you simply talk to it. Generate the IPLRCB team coming out with the trophy in the plush world style, wearing the RCB jersey, holding the IPL 2026 trophy. It takes a few minutes and then you get a full animated clip with sound. Listen to this.
We finally did it!
This is for the fans!
We got little plush RCB players in their jerseys, lifting the trophy while a tiny crowd cheers. Now, here's the trick that makes Omni special. You can take the last frame and keep building from it. So let's tell it to take the last scene and transform the plush world into a real cinematic shot, with real players lifting the trophy and a director who shouts, "Cut" at the end. And this is the result it gives us. The plush scene dissolved into a real stadium with real players, confetti, and a crowd, and then the camera pulls back as the director in his chair shouts, "Cut! Great work, everyone." It was able to combine two completely different worlds into one continuous video. You can use your imagination and build almost anything with this. Now let's step back and look at all that we just did with Gemini. We started with nothing but an idea, a Nike night running launch for India. Then we researched the market, designed the campaign poster, got it reviewed and fixed, built an AI specialist to write an outreach, turned the report into a website, set some scheduled tasks to update daily, and finished with a video ad. All of it free. Now honestly, Gemini was just one of Google's tools. We have barely scratched the surface. There's many more you haven't heard of. So let's keep going. If you're liking this so far, we post many AI tools tutorials and masterclasses like this on our channel. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. To make it easy to follow, I've put a full step-by-step guide as well as some must-have prompts for each of these tools in my free WhatsApp community. Links in the description. Grab it and keep it open as we go. Okay, so far you and I have been inside the normal Gemini app. Now, let me open a tool most people never even find. It is called Google AI Studio. And here is the best way to picture it. It is a quiet backroom where Google keeps every AI model it has ever made. Images, video, music, voices, even building whole apps. All of it in one single place. Let's use this tool to build a music app together, design its logo, record an actual AI podcast for it, and build it a proper business pitch page. One honest heads up before we begin. These screens look a little more technical than the normal Gemini app. Do not let that scare you. 90% of what we do is simply prompting. Okay, now let's start exploring it. Let's do a quick tour of this tool before we start building with it. This main screen is called the playground. Look at these 6 blocks. Think of them as a menu of everything Google AI can do for you. Up here you've got coding and chatting, then there's image generation, video generation, speech and music, and real-time voice and video. Now, click this drop down on the right. It shows you every model Google has ever built, all in one spot. Gemini for chatting and coding, Nano Banana for images, Veo for video, Lyria for music, and plenty more. You can choose to use any of these models because they all live in one window. And by the time we are done, you will have used 4 of them to build a final product. There's also these little settings you need to know. First is tools. In simple words, these let the AI actually go and do things before preparing a response. For example, look at this one, grounding with Google search. When you turn it on, the AI goes and does a Google search before it answers you. So you get today's information, fresh, not something dusty from a week or month ago. There's another that handles code and a third tool that opens Google Maps. Then you've also got an environment section, which is nothing but a clean space for the AI to work and build entire applications in. Finally, let's look at the last feature you absolutely need to know, which is system instructions. If you remember nothing else from this tour, remember this one. Think of it as an instruction where whatever you write, the AI obeys it every single time, so you never have to repeat yourself. Watch what we tell it. You are here to think with me, not agree with me. Treat everything I say as a claim that needs verification. Stay skeptical by default, double-check facts, and don't accept anything without reasoning. I am not always right, and neither are you. So focus on evidence, clarity, and accuracy. If my logic has flaws, point them out. If something is unclear or missing, tell me. Prioritize truth over politeness and challenge me whenever needed so we reach the most accurate answer possible. Now, this prompt matters a lot in the kind of responses we get from this AI. If you've noticed, AI generally operates like a yes man. You say something and it agrees with you even when you are completely wrong. This one instruction flips that. Now, it will push back, double-check facts, and question us. Let's name this instruction, Learn with Me, and save it. Now that we've set it up once, it ensures execution every time we use this tool. Okay, now for the part you have been waiting for, let's build the music app. Let's click on New App and just describe what we want. Build me a music app similar to Spotify. It recommends playlists and suggests music for me. It has a quiz that figures out my music taste and shows me how to explore new styles. And it provides a personalized dashboard that tracks my listening history and my discovery progress. Name the app MuseQuest. Make it a mobile-first app focused on engagement and discovery. It's a detailed prompt that's well thought out and lists a numerous set of features. Let's see if Google can execute it. Let's hit Build. And straight away, it gets to work. First, it asks how we would like it to look and offers a few design styles. We like the first one, so let's click Select this design. Now, it's writing the code for us, and finally, here is the app it built. Rather lovely, is it not? It's got a good design, a tidy layout. But watch closely. Let's click a track to play it. But as you can see, there's no audio coming out, just silence. It looks every bit like a music app, but it does not actually play music yet. But don't worry, we do not go in and fix it ourselves. We simply tell it what is wrong.
If I click on any music track, make use of the Lyria 3 model to add music in the background of whichever track I click on. For those who don't know, Lyria 3 is Google's music making AI. It does not pull songs from a library, it composes the music itself from scratch. So we are telling our app, reach out to Lyria, and the moment someone taps a track, create real music on the spot. We send that off and it starts wiring it in.
Okay, now watch closely. Let's go to Synthwave and hit play and just listen. That is real music, created right now this second by Lyria inside an app that did not exist 20 minutes ago. We never uploaded a single song. The app is composing the music all by itself. That is genuinely wonderfully wild. And it is not just a player. Let's step into this curator section. We pick a vibe, say coffee focus, and hit start discovery quiz. Give it a second. And there it is, a custom set of tracks for that exact mood, ready to save as your own playlist. Then there is this lovely personality quiz. It asks you playful questions, your ideal weekend, how you listen to a song you adore, and at the end, it hands you your music personality with tips on what to explore next. And remember, this is the very quiz we asked for in that one paragraph. It genuinely built it. There is even a stats page tracking how many genres you have explored and how much you have discovered. That personalized dashboard we asked for, sitting right here exactly as promised. And remember, we asked for mobile first. Let's click this mobile button. And there it is, the same app perfectly reshaped to fit a phone. Nothing broken, everything tidy, ready to use in your hand. One honest thing to know. If you ever want to put this live for real users, the publish button asks you to set up billing first. So building and playing with it like this is completely free. Going fully live is the one paid step, and you can connect it to your other Google Tools, Drive, Docs, Forms whenever your app needs them. So let's take a breath here. We typed one paragraph and we got a working music app with real AI music, a quiz, a dashboard, and a phone version. No code anywhere. Now let's give this little thing a proper brand. Every brand needs a logo, and normally that means a designer. But let's just make one ourselves right here. Let's click image generation. We get two options, Nano Banana 2 and plain Nano Banana. We will use the plain one because it is free. The pro version costs money, but for a logo, free is more than enough. And as usual, we describe what we want. Build a logo design for my music brand. The brand shortlist playlist quizzes you on your taste and helps you discover different genres of music. My brand colors are black and purple. It should feel a bit like Spotify. And in a few seconds, it hands us a logo. Clean purple, a little music waveform. There is one tiny problem though. It named the brand Melody Lab. That is not our name. So once again, we simply talk to it. The name of my brand is MuseQuest, not Melody Lab. It politely apologizes and fixes the name in an instant. This is our new logo. Here's something to know about these AI generations. You will almost never get it perfect on the first try, and that is completely normal. You just keep refining it and giving it suggestions. You can say, put a guitar inside a circle, make the design white on a purple background, make the guitar bigger, tuck the name inside the guitar, take off the extra text outside the circle. Just keep talking to it until it looks exactly right. And the moment you're happy, download it. And now you have your own custom brand logo. Now let's go back to our MuseQuest app. And we literally pick up the logo we just made and drop it right into the chat, telling it, this is my brand logo. Add this brand logo to my app. It thinks for a moment, updating the header. And there it is, our logo sitting at the top of our app on the desktop version and the phone version too. Now, let's say you want to promote MuseQuest with a little podcast clip. You do not need a microphone or two people or any recording gear. You can direct AI voices like little actors. Let me show you. Let's go to speech and music, and look, it offers us ready-made templates, an everyday assistant, a storyteller, an ad voiceover, a podcast host. We will click the energetic co-host because we want that podcast feel. Here is how it works. You set the scene, two friends chatting into mics in a studio, and then you build each voice one at a time. This next bit surprises everyone, so stay with me. For our first speaker, let's write out a whole personality. We want an authoritative main news anchor. Make the person sound like a dictator, dominating the conversation, somebody who puts his points straight up. Then we get to shape everything about how it sounds. The style, let's set to newscaster because it's professional and authoritative. The pace, rapid fire because it's fast and energetic. And for the accent, let's choose American South. And then we sample a few voices, clicking through them until we find the one that fits. Let's go with this one, Accord. Now, let's work out the same thing for our second speaker, the co-host. Let's give her a personality too. We want a professional field correspondent with over 25 years of expertise in AI and marketing who puts her point forward. Now let's pick a warm female voice for her. Let's go with Kalir Ho. So now we have two AI characters, each with their own personality, accent and pace, ready to talk. You can also add speech blocks of what you want the podcast to look like. Right now, let's just hit run and see what comes out.
Welcome back to the show. Today we're diving into the intersection of AI and creative expression.
Exactly. I've got so many thoughts on what happened this week.
It really is shifting daily. I mean, did you see the demo they dropped on Tuesday?
Oh, absolutely. It blew my mind. But it also raised some pretty huge questions about how we define art in the first place.
Right, so let's get right into it because we have a lot to unpack today.
Did you hear that? That is a proper back and forth podcast around AI and creativity. One of them even laughs. The pacing, the energy, the personalities we dreamed up, all of it is there. And remember, we did not record a single second of audio. We simply described our characters and pressed a button. You can do this and a lot more using speech and music feature. The only limit is your imagination. One more lovely thing you should know, because it saves you so much time. You do not always have to start from a blank screen. This is the gallery. These are apps and games other people have already built, and you can open any one, use it and remix it into something of your own. Just look at the range. A hide and seek game where you play against the AI on Google Maps. Multiplayer games, music apps built on Lyria, design tools built on Nano Banana, video tools on Vaibhav, and whole 3D worlds. So, if you ever feel stuck on where to begin, then do not start from scratch. Simply pick one of these, see how it works and make it your own. I have to show you something else quickly because it honestly feels like the future. Let's go back to the grid of 6 and click on real time. This is basically a live translation and it handles over 70 languages speech to speech almost instantly. So you could speak in English and hear it come out in another language as the words are still leaving your mouth. And the second part is even more useful for learning. You can share your screen, point at whatever has you stuck and just talk to it like a friend while it watches your screen alongside you. Picture this, if you are stuck on something on your laptop, instead of Googling for an hour, you just show it the screen and ask your question. Isn't that amazing? Well, we've discussed a lot of features and built a lot of things like the app, logo, podcast, but this last one ties the whole story together. Let's make a pitch for this, like a real business. For this, we need to go to Code and Chat and ask it to build a partnership pitch page. Here is the dream. MuseQuest, our little music app, wants to team up with T-Series, one of the biggest music labels in the world. Create a premium partnership landing page for MuseQuest proposing a strategic collaboration with T-Series. Position MuseQuest as an emerging music discovery platform and invite T-Series to distribute their music catalog to reach new audiences. Use T-Series inspired brand colors, a modern high-end design, and messaging focused on innovation, audience growth, and long-term partnership. Let's send it off and watch it code by itself. About a minute later, it gives us a result which we just need to download and open. Look at this. It's a professional pitch website. It's got a headline about bridging India's biggest music catalog with audiences across the globe. To be honest, that's a little longer than I like, but it can be changed later. Then it has a 4-phase partnership plan. Then it's got the vision section and a part explaining why a label should partner with MuseQuest. Even the technical details of how the two would connect and a contact form at the bottom to request a proposal deck and consultation. So that was Google AI Studio for you. If you use this tool to build anything, upload it on social media and tag us. We'd love to see the results you got. Now I have only just scratched the surface with these first two tools. Let's carry this momentum and move on to the next one. This next tool comes under Google's research tools. It's one of a kind and you've definitely used it before. However, almost nobody I know uses it to its full potential, and that's a real shame because it might just be the quietest powerhouse on this entire list. The tool we're talking about is NotebookLM. It can not only read the numerous things you feed it, from YouTube video transcripts to entire books to websites and even audio files, it can also turn that pile of sources into almost anything you need. A grounded research report, a debate style podcast, a narrated animated video, mind maps, study guides, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, and even clean data tables. So let's show you some of these use cases by building something exciting together. And I hope you leverage it to its full potential the next time you use the tool. Let's dive in. When you sign in with Google, this is the dashboard you land on. If you've used it before, all your notebooks or basically research projects live here. And if you're new, there's just one button that matters now, which is create a new notebook. So let's click it. It spins up an empty notebook and immediately asks for a source. You can pull sources from your documents, websites, YouTube videos, or your own notes. You can even search the web or pull projects straight from your Google Drive folder. Before you start the research, you'll see a little globe drop down with two modes, fast research and deep research. Fast is great for quick results. Deep is for when you want a proper in-depth report. Great, now let's upload our files. We've got a document on Tesla, so let's drop that in. The moment it lands, it reflects on the left-hand panel. Tesla.docx, ticked and ready, and NotebookLM even reads it and titles the whole notebook for us, Tesla 2026, the triad of autonomy, robotics, and AI. And now you can see the whole workspace, which is really just 3 columns. On the left, your sources, everything you feed it. In the middle, the chat, where you talk to those sources like a person who's read them. And on the right, the studio, where you can turn your document into an audio overview, a slide deck, a video overview, and all these other options. There's even an add note button for anything you want to jot down yourself. That's the whole map. Now let's start filling it in. The first thing NotebookLM does extremely well is deep research. So let's make it go out and research the open web for us. In the chat, we ask one simple question. What is Tesla looking into in the next 3 years? There's a little button that switches the search from reading only your document to reading the whole web. So we flip that to web. Then we open the drop down and choose deep research and we hit submit. It makes itself a 5-step research plan and works through it one step at a time. And here's what came back, a complete deep research report called the Physical AI Pivot with 40 sources discovered underneath it. We click import and every one of those 40 sources cascades straight into our panel on the left, indexed and ready. And each source has a checkbox so you can stay in control of the data you want. You can tick exactly which ones you want NotebookLM to draw from. We'll select a handful of the most relevant, the 2026 update, the FSD and Robotaxi roadmap, the Optimus deployment, and a few more. Now, automatically what happens is that NotebookLM writes up a clean overview based on your sources. It lays out Tesla's strategic shift from a traditional car maker into an autonomy and robotics company. You can hit save to note to keep that answer, and you can even hit convert to source, which turns the answer itself into a new source the tool can cite later. And then NotebookLM does your thinking for you, suggesting the next questions to ask. It throws up 3. How is Tesla shifting focus from cars to AI and robotics? What are the biggest risks facing Tesla's new technology bets? And how does Tesla's robotaxi progress compared to competitors like Waymo? That third one is interesting. Let's run it. A full 4-part competitive breakdown of Tesla versus Waymo, covering fleet size, technology, vehicle design, and cost comes back. Now here's one more thing I want to show you. See those little numbers dotted through the answer? Hover over one and it shows you the exact source it came from. Click view source and you're taken straight to the original quote in your material. And one more small button worth knowing, auto label sources by topic. Hit it and NotebookLM sorts all 40-odd sources into clean folders on its own. Autonomous driving, battery technology, energy products, financial performance, market competition, new vehicle models, robotics and AI, and a miscellaneous catch-all. Expand any folder and there are the exact sources that belong to it. Basically, in one click, your whole research library got organized. Now let's open the studio on the right, where this document can turn into 10 different things. We'll start with audio. When you click the settings on the audio overview card, it asks what format you want the audio to be in, whether it's a deep dive or a brief or a critique or a debate where 2 AI hosts actually argue your topic out. Let's go with debate. And now for my favorite feature, if your first language isn't English language, you can choose between Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Gujarati, English, Spanish, and plenty more options. To really push NotebookLM, We'll generate the first one in German and then do a second round in English to compare. Then it asks what the host should focus on. So here's the actual prompt we give it. Debate if Tesla's new cybercab production methods represent true innovation or just desperate survival. Discuss if existing competitors like BYD have already surpassed Tesla's core technology. And analyze if the manufacturing process is truly scalable for global mass production. What we've done here is we've handed the host a real argument with 2 sides and 3 specific questions to fight over. It starts cooking in the background. Side by side, let's run the same prompt again, this time in English. Okay, so it took some time, but now the results have come back. Let's check out the German one first.
Das Autochassis kriecht durch eine riesige Fabrik, während sich Arbeiter da mühsam hineinzwängen.
Ja, Sitze und endlose Kabelbäume zu.
That was 2 AI hosts debating Tesla's manufacturing in fluent German with a completely natural back and forth entirely from our document. Then we've got the English version, about 5.5 minutes of 2 hosts arguing the same question.
Do Tesla's radical new production methods represent a revolutionary leap in manufacturing innovation, or just a desperate survival tactic?
The stakes are definitely high.
Exactly. I argue this unboxed process is a fundamental technological breakthrough that completely reinvents how we build hardware.
And I contend it's a forced, high-risk gamble, one driven by a shrinking market share and, honestly, overwhelming global competition.
Listen to this. It sounds so natural. There's a portion where one of them even laughs, and the content is landing too. The potentials of this are insane. Educational content can be made by schools using this tool to cater to students across different geographies and languages. If you have any more ideas of the applications of such a tool, drop them in the comments. Okay, let's move on to the next use case, slide decks. A large portion of the time of educated professionals goes into researching for and designing PowerPoint presentations. Let's cut that time down today. When you open slide decks on NotebookLM, it offers 2 formats. A detailed deck, which is a presentation built for reading and sharing via email, and then presenter slides, which are clean slides with just the key talking points to speak alongside. Let's go with presenter slides. It's going to use the same resources we uploaded for Tesla, but we still have to describe what exactly we want in the presentation. So here's our prompt. Create a deck for beginners. Use a bold and playful style with a focus on step-by-step instructions. Now hit generate. Here's the slide deck we get, titled The Second S-Curve, Tesla's Pivot from High-Volume Automaker to Hyper-Scaled AI and Robotics Platform. They've also given a proper financial dashboard. The headwinds, the war chest, the diversification across energy and services, and a strategic takeaway. All pulled straight from the sources. And if you want to go deeper on any part, you just hit revise and tell it what to expand. The deck reshapes itself around whatever you need. It's that easy to make a pitch deck now. Similarly, NotebookLM can also make videos. When you open the video overview card, you'll get 3 format options: cinematic, explainer, and brief. Let's choose brief. Then it gives you some visual styles as options. We've got classic, whiteboard, kawaii, anime, watercolor, retro print, heritage, and papercraft. We'll go with papercraft. And here's the prompt made using the focus box and suggested modifiers. Compare Tesla's market position against competitors like BYD, Lucid, and Xiaomi in 2026. Contrast the production speed and manufacturing efficiency between these major global automotive players. Analyze how the new unboxed manufacturing method impacts Tesla's long-term competitive cost advantage. Once you hit generate, the video starts rendering. This is the final result. It's called 2026 EV Market Shift. It's about 2 minutes long in the papercraft style we asked for. Let's play it.
The 2026 EV market. The ground is already shifting. Look at BYD. They actually dethroned Tesla with 2.26 million battery electric deliveries. Tesla's big issue right now, an aging lineup. Meanwhile, Chinese rivals are pumping out rapid smartphone-style updates.
What was just built was a fully narrated animated explainer done entirely by NotebookLM. You don't need expensive editing apps and skilled workforce to create such a draft anymore. The rest of the studio features work the same way. Pick the format, give it a prompt, and hit generate. Let's blow through 5 more of them super quick. First, let's explore mind map. We will follow the same steps and give it a 1-line prompt. Tesla 2026 overview and future scope. We hit generate and it starts building a clickable tree of the whole topic. While that's happening, let's ask it to build the rest. When you click on reports, it gives you a menu of formats like briefing doc, blog post, and study guide. For revision, we'll pick the study guide and let it auto-generate. For the quiz, we choose a standard number of questions at easy difficulty and prompt this. Generate a 30-question quiz telling what exactly Tesla is looking into. Next, for the infographic, we need to pick a language. We choose English. For orientation, let's take portrait, and for style, we get options run from Kawaii and Clay to sketchnote, anime, and editorial. Let's take Clay. We also set the level of detail to detailed. Then prompt it, use Tesla's brand colors and put 3 stars under the infographic and generate an infographic based on that. And finally, for the data table, we prompt, highlight the key findings from the resources with the title, author, and key results. Make sure the data is in bullet points and a tabular format, and tell me the key insights with the metric each thing is being calculated in. Every one of these studio features is being generated at the same time in the studio panel. Let's walk through each of the results now. Let's start with the mind map. We expand it to full screen, and there's the whole topic as a living tree with Tesla 2026 overview and future scope at the center. Click any branch and it unfolds. Autonomous mobility opens into cybercab production, and one more click drills into the specifics. Every other branch goes just as deep, from Optimus to Tesla's energy storage, the vehicle lineup, and the full financial and AI strategy. When you zoom out, you can see the entire thing at once, end to end, down to the smallest detail. It's a brilliant way to take everything you've gathered and actually hold it in your head. Now let's look at the quiz. It gives you 30 questions like, what is the primary design purpose of the Tesla Cybercab? Pick the wrong one and it flags it red with a not quite and lights the right answer green while giving an explanation for each. You can go through all the questions to understand what you know and don't know. It's a brilliant study tool. Next, look at the data table. It turns everything into a clean grid. The title, author, key results, key insights, the metric each figure is measured in, and a source link for every row. So you can always trace a number back to where it came from. Next, the infographic came back. The title reads, Tesla 2026, the great pivot to AI and robotics in the clay style we picked, with a consistent color palette and small animations. It's even added the 3 stars at the bottom, exactly as we asked. Tesla's colors that we asked for have not been highlighted enough here. Maybe a different style language would suit what we're looking for better. Now finally, let's look at the report. We asked for a study guide and got a full revision pack, a short answer quiz with questions and model answers, a complete answer key, essay questions on the bigger themes, and a glossary of every key term. For anyone prepping for an exam, that's hours of work completely done for you. So let's step back and look at what we just did. From one document on Tesla, we pulled a 40-source research report, a full competitor breakdown, debate podcasts in 2 languages, a slide deck, an animated video, a mind map, a study guide, a quiz, an infographic, and a sourced data table. Anybody can use it for free. So for all you students watching, just drop your lecture audios and textbooks and walk out with free study material and quizzes. Since everyone is based on your own sources, you do not have to be worried about AI hallucination either. That was 3 free tools we covered. Let's carry this momentum and move on to the next one. Since we are learning about free tools around education, here's one called Learn Your Way. It basically takes a topic from a textbook and rebuilds it in different ways, shaped around how you personally like to learn. The premise is that everyone learns differently. Some of us are auditory learners, some are visual learners, some of us learn with mind maps. Instead of handing a normal textbook to everyone, this tool allows you to learn in whatever way suits you. It's been tested and proven to increase knowledge retention by 11% in students compared to normal textbooks. That's a decent result for a free tool. So let's start and experiment with it. This is the home page. It shows you the 4 ways that they reimagine the content in: immersive text, slides and narration, audio lesson, and mind maps. Now scroll down and you'll see the subjects Google already has content around: astronomy, biology, chemistry, computer science, economics, and a handful more. Note that these are sample lessons Google built so you can try the tool out without any setup. You can also drop in your own textbook, PDF, your own chapter, or your own notes, and it runs that exact same transformation on your own material. For now, let's use one of the ready-made lessons so you can see how it works. Let's go with this psychology lesson here. What is learning? It asks you what personalization do you want to explore. Basically, which example would you prefer? A high schooler who likes skateboarding or an undergrad who likes music? Let's go with the high schooler. Google is now transforming and personalizing your study material, improving the readability, then splitting the material into different sections. The first format we get is immersive text. It gives you the learning objectives, then some visuals to help you understand the concept. These visuals help you remember the topic a different way, so it's easier to recall than a normal definition or paragraph. Now, if this was not enough, it even quizzes you on what you've just read. Look at this. It's asking for a key characteristic of a reflex. Let's go with option D. It marks it as correct while also giving a line of explanation. Now, let's deliberately get one wrong and see what happens. The tool gives you multiple options from a hint to an option to show you the answer or even skip it. If you ask to see the answer, it also provides an explanation of why it was correct. So that was the first method, immersive text. Let's look at the other three. The second format is slides and narration. Let's hit play.
Hello everyone and welcome to our lesson, Introduction to Learning. Today, we're going to explore what learning is, how it works, and the different ways we acquire new knowledge and behavior.
Just like that, it's built you a full 25-slide narration of the same chapter with clean slides and a voice guiding you through it. You can explore it a little more yourselves, but for now, let's move on to the third format, the audio lesson. Let's click to start it.
Hello, welcome to our lesson today. Before we dive into the topic, let me ask you a question. Can you think of something you do automatically without ever having been taught how to do it?
Basically, it turned the entire chapter into a conversational audio lesson you can simply sit back and listen to while traveling, walking, or doing any other chore. It's faster and easier than reading a textbook. You just got a free audiobook basically. The last format is the mind map to help you organize the information from the entire chapter easily. It breaks down your topic into segments which also branch out themselves. For example, when we click on innate unlearned behaviors, it splits into reflexes and instincts which branch into their own explanations. So you can start right at the big picture and drill straight down into the single part you're stuck on without having to reread everything surrounding it. Then zoom all the way out and there's your entire chapter sitting on one single screen. This is exactly what you want the night before an exam. So overall, what this tool Learn Your Way does is it takes your topic and hands you back the reading and visual material, a quiz, a narrated video, a podcast, and a mind map, and you get to pick whichever one you prefer. It's basically the new form of personalized education. Now, we're done with all the research tools. Let's go ahead and build something. This next tool we're looking at allows you to describe any app you want in simple language, and it goes ahead and builds it for you. It's called Opal, and we're going to use it to not only make an app, but also to reach out to companies to spot business opportunities for the tool. Let's start slow. This is what the Opal dashboard looks like, a gallery. Google has already built a whole pile of ready-made apps, which you can just open, copy, or improve based on your needs. As you scroll, you'll pass dozens of them. A Diwali planner, book recs, business profiler, claymation explainer, fashion stylist, game concept builder, interior designer, marketing maven, product marketing, and so much more. Each of these is a working mini app, so for a head start, just grab one and tweak it. Let's open Book Recs, a little app that recommends books. This is the whole app, 3 boxes connected by arrows. You've got gather book description, then find books, then output. Basically, you tell it what you want, it acts as a literary assistant and finds 5 books with the description for each. Then it lays them out on a clean, easy to read page. Let's run it. It asks the kind of book I'm looking for, so let's give it Agentic AI Explainers. First, it finds the book recommendations, then gathers the explanations and purchase links for each one. Then it generates the HTML and designs the interface. So it's building you a small web page to hold the answer. Here's the result. 5 real books, each with a proper description and a buy on Amazon link. Let's look at the first one. Agentic Artificial Intelligence. It's described as a strategic, jargon-free roadmap for enterprise leaders moving from generative AI to autonomous agentic workflows. The second is Agentic AI for Dummies, is an accessible introduction to agentic systems that breaks complex tech down into simple concepts. Similarly, it provides 3 more. Now you can either download the result as an HTML file straight to your computer, or click the App tab on top, which turns the same result into a clean, full-screen grid of all 5 cards you can share with anyone. That was a pre-built app, right? Now let's build one of our own. Let's ask it to make something an e-commerce brand in India would pay money for. For example, an automation that creates product catalog images for a fashion store on autopilot every week. Let's give it a detailed prompt. Read this week's new product arrivals from Myntra and add them to a Google Sheet. Run Gemini with search to pull current seasonal and festival trend cues for each product category in the sheet. Apparel gets a model and lifestyle treatment, accessories get a flat lay and detail set, and festival wear gets a festive editorial treatment. Use the Nano Banana model to generate 2 catalog images per product, 1 model shot and 1 flat lay with legible price and product names. Write the image URLs back to the sheet as a new column. Drop a message saying, "Today's Myntra catalog imagery is ready. Set the chain to run every Monday at 6 a.m. And there it is. It took that whole paragraph and built a complete workflow, and it even named it Catalog Genie for us. It's asked for your Myntra link and Google Sheet. Then it works through the steps one by one. First, it fetches the Myntra content. Next, it pulls out the catalog data. Then it researches the current trends for those products. After that, it saves everything into your sheet. Finally, Nano Banana creates the images, and the last step drops those image links back into the sheet. That was how to create an automation. But now let's build something you can actually make money with. Say you run an agency or you're freelancing and you need to send cold emails to land clients. The hard part is never actually writing the email. It's researching each company well enough that the email doesn't sound like spam. So let's build a tool that does both for you. Let's give this prompt to Opal. Act as an elite B2B tech strategist. Use Google search to research the business models of the 3 distinct companies listed in target brands. Then draft a highly tailored, hyper-personalized cold outreach email for each company, pitching our AI automation agency services based on your offer/purpose, signing off professionally as an AI ops partner. Now, look at these 2 bits at target brands and at your offer. The at the rate sign makes them blanks. You fill in each time you run the app. So you build this once and then you can reuse it for any company and any offer you want. Basically the same tool, but with new clients every time. Okay, so now it builds the app, calling it Strategy Outreach AI with 2 inputs. Target brands, which are the 3 companies to research, and your offer, which is your agency's value proposition. The middle step is research and draft emails, where it acts as a B2B strategist, Googles each company's business model and writes the emails. Then, in the final step, generate HTML outreach, lays out the results on a clean page. Let's head to the app view and use it now. It asked for my 3 companies, so let's use 3 real Indian brands: Mokobara, Blue Tokai Coffee Roasters, and The Sold Store. Then it asks what I'm actually selling, so let's describe our offer. An audit and customized multi-agent AI pipeline to automate customer operations, cart recovery, and conversational support to scale efficiency by 40%. And now it goes to work, analyzing the objective, researching each of those 3 brands on Google, then drafting a different email for each one, and finally designing the dashboard to hold them all. Let's give it a minute. It's given us 3 different, well-researched and written emails. Let's read Mokobara's first. This is a premium luggage brand, so the strategy it's chosen is high ticket conversion. It pitches cart recovery over WhatsApp, something for warranty claims, and a travel concierge. It says this will increase efficiency by 40%. Now let's look at Blue Tokai, the coffee brand. This one gets a completely different angle, focusing on subscription value and retention. Since coffee is something people reorder, it pitches a WhatsApp layer to manage subscriptions, profiling that learns each customer's taste and recommends coffees for them, and an agent that nudges customers. And then finally, let's look at the Sold Store, the fan merch and apparel brand. This one gets a different angle again.
It focuses on return optimization. The email notes they've mastered fan merchandise but are facing a sizing and returns bottleneck. So it pitches solutions for the same, including an online size and fit agent to cut returns and smoother exchanges to keep money inside the brand. Did you notice how these were all three genuinely different, fully researched, ready to send emails that were customized to each brand? Each one had its own strategy, subject line, analysis of the business, and tailored data-backed proposal. So that was Opal. It lets you package AI into a little machine that does a whole job for you. Use it to build different solutions for your business, and let me know what you build in the comments. Meanwhile, let's move to some more exciting tools. This next one might be the most underrated tool in Google Labs. Not too many people know about it either. Using this tool, you can build web apps without knowing both coding and design. It's called Google Stitch, and it basically designs user interfaces and hands you the code so you can build and host a real website using it. You only need a Google account to run it. So today, we'll do three things with it. First, we'll go over some quick hacks to get the best results from Stitch. Second, we will clone Zomato and design a new food delivery app using it as reference. And finally, we will build a web app from scratch and export it into Google AI Studio to make it a working product. This tool is for those of you who have had an app idea sitting in your head that went absolutely nowhere. Now's the time to go back and build it. So open the tool alongside me and follow along. Let's get started. Before we touch the tool, let's check out the walkthrough made by the team behind Stitch themselves. Whenever you write a prompt for Stitch, it helps to think in 4 boxes. The first box is idea, which is simply what the thing is: a landing page, a food app, a dashboard. The second is theme, which is the vibe you're going for, the mood and the colors and the overall feeling, whether that's modern and edgy or soft and minimal. The third is content, which is the real words and sections that live inside the app, things like the headline, the buttons, and the menu items. And the fourth box is image, which can be used if you have a reference picture or a website. You can just drop it in and Stitch matches that look. Take this example. Let's say the idea is a landing page for a running podcast. The theme is modern, edgy, high contrast, black and white with hard angles. And the content is a hero section with a specific headline and links to the podcast. Instead of just saying, make me a podcast page, you fill in all 4 boxes. It's the difference between a generic result and exactly what you want. Don't stress about getting it perfect on the first try. The goal is to get something on the screen first and then fix it from there. The single most important rule is to make one change at a time. Pick one screen, select a specific element, and tell Stitch exactly what to do. If you try to change everything at once, it gets confused. Now, Stitch has 3 models you can use. The first is fast, for getting screens on the canvas quickly. Then there's thinking, which is slower but smarter and is used for complex layouts. Finally, you have redesign, which handles visual makeovers and polish. Use the modes wisely depending on what it is that you wish to create. Okay, the next thing you need to know is this word bank. Bookmark this to come back to it later. It's basically a list of the exact style words that Stitch understands and responds to. For layout, you've got words like bento grid and editorial. For texture, there's glass morphism and clay morphism, which is that frosted glass look you see everywhere now. This word bank is incredibly effective. Dropping one of these into your prompt instantly changes the entire look. So whenever a design feels flat, you come back to this list, grab a style, and drop it into your prompt. The last thing you need to know before we dive in is this. You can also utilize a DESIGN.md file on Stitch, which is a single brand rulebook containing your colors, fonts, and spacing. If you hand that file to Stitch, every result it makes follows your brand guidelines automatically. Okay, now that you've understood all this, let's go build something. This is what the homepage of Stitch looks like. It's a simple interface with just one prompt box. Let's click the plus icon and paste in the link to Zomato. Stitch uses that link as a visual reference, pulling its layout, feel, and colors to work from. We also give it this prompt, build a foodie app. The user sees the nearby restaurant, searches by cuisine, adds items to the cart, and lands on a live order tracking screen with a delivery rider on a map. Zomato vibrant red palette, clean mobile first layout. Let's pick the redesign model and hit generate. And look at what happens here. Because it doesn't just spit out a single picture. There's an agent working away on the left, narrating what it's building as it goes, and on the canvas, 3 separate screens start forming all at once.
The first screen is the home screen with the line, "Hungry, let's get food delivered." You've got food categories running across the top and restaurant cards sitting below them. The second screen is the menu and the cart. It's filled with real food items neatly organized into starters, mains, rice and noodles, and desserts. And there's a working cart on the side that fills up as you add things to it. And the third screen is the live order tracking, complete with the map and the delivery rider, exactly like the prompt asked for. Let's zoom out for a moment so you can see all three screens sitting side by side. What we have here is the clone of Zomato. Now we can move on to step 2 and refine it. Let's say you want this menu screen to feel a bit more personal. To do that, let's click on just that one screen to select it. You'll see a blue outline appear around it, and that outline is what tells Stitch to touch only the screen and leave all the others exactly as they are. Here's the prompt we give it. Create the add to cart with specific user preferences, showing a personalized recommendation like the best seller and something they've repeatedly ordered. Mark that in the restaurant menu and cart. Let's run it and watch what it does. Stitch builds a fresh version next to the old one, so you can compare the two directly. Zoom in and there it is, a brand new personalized recommendation block. The rest of the app stays exactly as it was. It just executed a cleanly made change. Now, let's go ahead and use that DESIGN.md file I told you about, which holds all of a brand's design information. Here's the easy way to do it. Stitch already comes with ready-made design systems, basically presets you can apply in a click. When you open this drop-down, you'll see names like Alexandria, Bauhaus, and Glacier. Each one is a complete look, with the colors and the overall feel already decided for you. Let's pick Alexandria and then give it this prompt. Use the design.md and redesign the UI of the app being built with the specific colors from the design file, then click generate. And look what happens. The whole app flips from that bright Zomato red to these deep green tones. The same screens now have a completely different mood. And from here, you just keep going. You can select a screen, ask for a tweak, pick a color and repeat. It's basically that simple. Changing one setting in the design file can update the look everywhere instantly. Now let's level up. Let's build a brand new web app from a custom design.md file. And for this build, we are making something I really need, a personal newsroom. The idea behind it is an app that watches every new AI tool that drops, works out what each one can do, and then tells me where I could actually use it in my own work. We give it a quick prompt, select the web toggle, which basically allows it to make a web app instead of a phone app, and finally, we keep it on the fast model. Then we click generate. Watch how it works. Before drawing a single screen, Stitch builds the design system, setting primary colors, fonts, and headline styles. Because it establishes the brand first, every subsequent screen matches perfectly. And now the screens start to come through. Here's the dashboard. There's a section where you pick which AI model you're working with, a live feed of raw updates coming in, and a grid for spotting the important shifts as they happen. Now let's say you also want a reports area in this app. You don't have to build it manually, you simply ask for it in a single line. Create a separate UI for the report section for me and watch the agent get straight to work. It builds a brand new report screen complete with a report vault full of real example entries like a weekly tech audit, market sentiment, and compliance checks. And this section of the app matches the design of everything else around it. But so far, it's still a simple design. We need it to become an app. In order to do this, we need to click on the triangle on top. What that does is it turns it into a prototype, which is basically a clickable version of your design. And there you go. This isn't a static picture anymore. Let's click the reports tab and watch how it actually moves and takes us through to the reports page. The buttons work, the navigation works, and you could hand this to someone and let them click through your app before it's been hosted on the final website. You can also view a mobile version of the screen by clicking the little computer screen icon on the right side. You can even redesign what it looks like until it feels right to you. Okay, so far we've designed the app and we've made it clickable. Now for the final step, turning it into a real working product. This is the point where Stitch connects to that other Google tool we covered earlier, AI Studio. Let's hit export and choose build with AI Studio. And just like that, it carries every one of our screens straight over into Google AI Studio in a brand new tab. AI Studio's job from here is to stitch all of those screens together into one working app you can actually use. So we simply tell it to build and it gets to work, turning what was a pile of separate designs into a single unified web app that works across your phone, tablet, and desktop. And look at the result. This is our newsroom running for real now. Let's click into reports where the filter works across risk, strategy, audit, and legal. The other sections work too, and the settings page is right there. Everything we designed back in Stitch is now a living, functioning app inside AI Studio. I'm going to share one last thing with you on this app. It's a shortcut you can use. You don't have to start with a blank box every time. If you scroll down on the home page, there's a whole gallery of designs that other people have built and shared. Everything from dashboards to landing pages to full apps. Let's open one of them. Do you see this button here, Remix This Project? It lets you take someone else's finished, polished design and make it your own, so their layout instantly becomes your starting point. Let's try it out. Look at this, the full landing page, the dashboard, and all the variations, including the light theme, that bright lime green theme, the hero sections, the call to action blocks, and the footer are now in your workspace, ready for you to change and make your own. So to summarize, whether you describe an idea from scratch or remix an existing layout, Stitch can take your app from an idea to a designed, exportable product. Now, the next tool brings everything we've covered so far together. We've seen Google's tools for learning, research, app building, and productivity. But none of those tools answer one very important question. How do you actually market what you create? That's where Pomelli comes in. Building a brand usually means hiring designers, copywriters, photographers, advertisers, and web developers. That can get expensive and slow. But now you can just give Pomelli your website and it learns your style and creates assets that actually match your brand, from ad campaigns to product photo shoots to complete websites. By the end of this section, you'll know how to create an entire marketing stack inside a single tool. And I'll also show you a hidden feature that can push these assets directly into Google Ads. Let's start. Head over to Pomelli website and you will land on the homepage that says easily generate on-brand content for your business. Let's get started. The onboarding screen shows you the 4 core capabilities that Pomelli unlocks, which are build your business DNA, get campaign ideas and assets, generate a product photo shoot, and create your brand book and website. Click Let's Go and you reach the input screen that asks for your website. From here, you have 2 complete paths you can take. The first path is for when you already have a website. The second path is for people who do not have one yet. This is where things get really interesting, but let's start slow and go with the first one so you understand how the core engine works. For this walkthrough, let's use H&M as the test brand because it is a global retailer with a deep product catalog, a clear brand identity, and a heavy website that puts real stress on the tool. Let's copy the H&M homepage URL from the browser, head back to the Pomelli tab, paste the link into the input box and click continue. Pomelli now starts generating what it calls your business DNA. You will see a live status screen that shows each step as it happens, including analyzing your website, gathering your colors, studying your brand values, determining your visual aesthetic, picking your brand fonts, pulling images from your website, summarizing your business, finding your logo, learning your tone of voice, and writing your tagline. This typically takes a few minutes depending on how heavy the website is and how busy the servers are. Once the analysis finishes, you land on the Business DNA dashboard, which becomes your home base for everything you build from this point forward. On this dashboard, you can see the generated brand overview, which includes the logo, fonts, color palette, tagline, brand values and aesthetic, tone of voice, and a full business overview. For H&M, the tagline Pomelli generated reads, fashion and quality at the best price in a sustainable way, which actually matches the real H&M positioning surprisingly well. On the right side of the screen, you will notice the Pomelli agent panel, which is a chat interface that can directly trigger campaigns, photo shoots, websites, and more. Let's leave the agent panel closed for now because we will come back to it with the second brand later in this video. We click Let's Go at the bottom of the dashboard and a pop-up appears that says your business DNA is ready with 4 next step options, which are campaigns, photo shoot, website, and brand book. Let's walk through every single one of them in order. Let's click on campaigns first. The moment you land on this screen, Pomelli has already pre-generated 3 campaign concepts based on your business DNA. For H&M, you will see suggestions like summer starts here, golden hour in every stitch, and your summer escape styled.
Click on the one you like, and within a few seconds, Pomelli generates 4 full vertical poster creatives for that campaign. Each poster uses real product images from the H&M catalog with professional layouts and auto-generated headlines like "From Beach to City Nights" and matching descriptions. Click on any creative and the right sidebar opens up the full editor where you can change the header text, the font, the colors and the description. You can also toggle the call to action on or off, and when you turn the CTA on, Pomelli adds a button like "Shop the Edit" to the poster. From the same sidebar, you can edit the CTA link, the button text and the button font. Right below the creative, there is a button called Fix Layout. And this feature is incredibly useful. When you click Fix Layout, Pomelli automatically adjusts the spacing, the font sizes and the overall composition, so nothing on the poster feels cramped or oversized. So basically, we don't need to waste any amount of hours on those tiny little design changes to make everything look professional. Once this finishes, you can use the version history toggle at the top to compare your edited version against the original, and you can download any version as a high-resolution PNG by clicking the download arrow in the top right corner. The file will then land straight in your downloads folder, ready to post on any platform. Now, if you don't want to use one of the pre-generated campaign concepts, you can build your own custom campaign. But before that, you need to know 2 of these underrated features. Look at the left sidebar. You'll see 2 tabs, the Catalog tab and the Assets tab. The Catalog tab shows you every single product Pomelli scraped from your website, and each product comes with an auto-generated name and description. Click on any product and you can directly create a campaign or a photo shoot for that specific item without going back to the main dashboard. Then there's the Assets tab, which shows you every visual element Pomelli pulled from your live website, including your logo, your lifestyle imagery, and your product photography. You can download any asset individually, or you can delete the ones you do not want Pomelli to use in future generations. That last part is a much bigger deal than it sounds, because it lets you quietly train the tool to ignore older or off-brand visuals over time. Now, let's create a custom campaign. In the prompt bar at the top of the screen, let's type out a clear brief. Create a social campaign to promote our new spring linen collection, targeting young working professionals aged 25 to 35, timed for the start of summer with a fresh and breezy tone. Below the prompt box, you can change the aspect ratio depending on where you plan to post, and you can also manually select up to 6 products from your catalog to feature inside the campaign. Now click Generate Brief, and Pomelli first builds a structured campaign brief that includes the title, the description, the goal, and any optional offers or promotions. You can edit anything in this brief before locking it in, and once it looks right, click Confirm. Pomelli then generates the full campaign with 4 ready-to-post creatives. I'm really impressed with Pomelli. These look genuinely studio-made, with on-brand styling and clean typography. Now here we can also add more creatives to the same campaign by clicking Add Creative, and the new ones automatically inherit the same brief and visual identity. Okay, so Pomelli can generate people well, but how good is it with products? What if I want to generate a professional product photo shoot? For this, let's explore the Photo Shoot tab on the left sidebar. Click Create a Product Photo Shoot, and Pomelli asks you to pick a product image from your catalog or your uploaded assets. Pick any product you want, and then, as usual, choose your aspect ratio depending on whether you are posting to Instagram, a story, or a website hero section. The most powerful part of this section is the template gallery. Pomelli gives you photo shoot templates broken down by category, such as fashion, beauty, home, and consumables. The most popular template is Model Try-On, which places your product directly on a photorealistic AI-generated model in a setting that matches your brand aesthetic. Click Generate, wait about a minute, and Pomelli returns 4 complete variations of your product worn or used by a model. When you expand them, the lighting, the styling, the setting, and the outfit choices look genuinely like a real studio shoot. You've just saved a lot of money and time that would have gone in getting a photo shoot done by professionals. Now you can save all 4 images, or you can even click Create Campaign directly from the photo shoot screen to instantly turn it into a marketing campaign. Now, the final core feature in Pomelli is the one most people outsource and pay large amounts of money for: website building. But what if you could launch a high-converting website in 60 seconds with a tool that already knows your brand's colors, fonts, and vibe? Let's try this out. Do you see the Websites tab? Click on it, and without doing anything, Pomelli starts generating a full website directly from your business DNA. After about a minute, the website editor opens up, and you can click Preview in New tab to view the full thing the way a real visitor would see it.
For H&M, Pomelli built a complete landing page that includes a hero section, a product grid, a text block, a feature row, and a large image gallery at the bottom. The fonts, the colors, the imagery, and the copy all match the original H&M aesthetic. Back inside the editor, you can give Pomelli a prompt to change any section, you can update the live link, you can delete the site, or you can toggle the publish button to push it live on a hosted Pomelli URL. The published version works on mobile and desktop, and you can share the link anywhere you want. Now, up until this point, everything we built assumed that you already have a live website that Pomelli can scrape. But what happens if you do not have a website yet? What if you are starting a brand from scratch, or you are freelancing for a client whose site is not built yet, or you are just experimenting with a brand idea before you commit? This is where the second path comes in, and it is the path most tutorials online skip completely. Head back to the home screen, click Let's Go again, and on the input screen, click the small button that says No Website Yet. You will get two new options. You can either build your business DNA from a Pomelli template, or you can build it completely from scratch using the Pomelli agent. Let's go with the from scratch option. For this walkthrough, let's build a fictional handcrafted jewelry brand called Gulabi, based in Jaipur. The Pomelli agent panel opens on the right side of the screen, and the first thing it asks you to do is upload any files that help the agent understand your business. You can drag in product photos, lifestyle images, brand documents, or even PDFs. If you do not have product photos yet, you can generate them in seconds using Nano Banana or ChatGPT's image generator and then drop them straight into Pomelli. For Gulabi, let's upload around 6 to 8 handcrafted Kundan and Meenakari jewelry photos directly into the chat. Pomelli analyzes each image, extracts visual details from the products, and once the analysis is complete, a button appears in the chat that says Generate Business DNA. Click that button and Pomelli starts populating your dashboard, the same way it did for H&M, except this time it is working purely off your uploaded images instead of a website scrape. To make the DNA much sharper, type a clear brand description directly into the chat. For Gulabi, you can paste something like, I run a small artistry jewelry brand based in Jaipur called Gulabi. We handcraft traditional Kundan and Meenakari jewelry, including necklaces, earrings, and mangtikas using designs rooted in classic Rajasthani artistry. Our brand feels regal, handcrafted, and timeless. Our colors are deep emerald green, royal gold, and Jaipur pink. Our tone is elegant, warm, and proud of its heritage. We sell to women who want statement jewelry for weddings, festivals, and special occasions. The moment you hit send such a detailed prompt, the dashboard updates the brand aesthetic, the tone of voice, the color palette, and the brand values to match your description exactly. The agent then gives you 3 tagline options to choose from. For Gulabi, the third option, timeless Rajasthani craftsmanship, worn with pride, feels the most aligned with the brand description. So let's lock that one in as the tagline. Now that we have a complete business DNA for this new brand we made, we click Let's Go at the bottom of the dashboard and you'll see the 4 options pop up. Let's click on campaigns, and the moment we do that, Pomelli suggests festive campaign ideas like the summer wedding guest edit based on your jewelry products and your description. But we want to create a custom one, so what we do is we go with a prompt like create a festive campaign to promote our handcrafted Kundan necklace sets, targeting women shopping for weddings and Diwali with a regal and elegant tone that celebrates traditional Jaipur craftsmanship. Let's change the aspect ratio to 9:16 for an Instagram story and click on the arrow. In a few minutes, Pomelli builds a campaign brief which consists of a title, description, and a goal. Once you confirm it, within about a minute, you receive 4 high-end festive creatives. One even features an AI model styled in coordinated outfits, wearing our uploaded jewelry with elegant typography that reads Timeless Jaipur Artistry. The other 3 are regal, stunning, and instantly usable on social media too. Let's go on to the photo shoot tab next. Click on create photo shoot, select some product images. Let's go with the earrings, click generate photo shoot, and soon enough, we get 4 results. Pomelli placed those exact earrings onto a few photorealistic Indian models. One is even wearing a matching magenta and red traditional outfit that complements the jewelry. That was a success. Now let's even try the brand book tab after that. Out of the cover options, it gives me, let's pick the rich textured cover. It looks stunning. After we click confirm, we need to choose supporting images. Let's go with the logo, some jewelry images and one model image. Now Pomelli instantly builds a full multi-page brand book for Gulabi with sections like brand overview, logo, variants, minimum size, typography, color palette, imagery and brand voice. Now that we have that, the final thing we can do is create a website for this. So let's click on the website tab, and like last time, all it took was a click and it has already generated the first draft of the website. Look at this. There's a landing page that includes a legacy section, then a grid with timeless pieces, a full product gallery and a core values block. Complete with placeholder links you can swap with your actual store URL whenever you go live. The colors and typography used in website are very regal. The whole thing is stunning for a first draft. This reminds me, one thing we missed out on was business details. When you go to the taskbar and see overview, you'll find a section on business details. Here you can add your location, business hours, phone numbers, call to action links, and your social media handles. This will help fill in the website too. And now let's come to an even more useful part of the whole thing. This feature is going to be a blessing for marketers. Do you see the 3 dots in the top right corner of your dashboard? Click on it and you'll see connected apps from the drop-down menu. What you can basically do on this is connect your Google Ads and integrate it here on Pomelli. Once your Google Ads account is connected, every campaign you generate inside Pomelli, every creative variation and every aspect ratio can be pushed straight into Google Ads without leaving the tool. If you manage multiple ad accounts, Pomelli lets you pick the correct one at the time of sharing. That means your entire workflow, starting from brand identity, moving through product photo shoots, then campaign creatives, and ending at paid distribution on YouTube and Google search, all lives inside one free Google product. Your marketing team doesn't need to use multiple different tools to manage campaigns anymore. Google quietly collapsed them into a single interface. This is a free goldmine by Google. If you run a small business and you have been waiting for the right moment to take your marketing seriously, this is it. If you're a freelancer, you can now hand clients a full brand kit, campaigns, and a website without hiring a single person. The people who start using tools like this now are going to look like they have a whole team behind them, while everyone else is still stuck waiting on 3 different people to get back to them. This brings us to the final tool in our Google free AI tool masterclass, and it's easily one of the most impressive ones. It's called Google Flow, and it is essentially an AI-powered filmmaking studio built by creators for creators. Inside Flow, you can generate scenes, create characters, organize projects, arrange shots on a timeline, and stitch everything together into a finished film from one place. So let's put the tool to the test. Let's use Flow to create an entire cinematic sequence from scratch and see just how much of the filmmaking process AI can handle today. To use Google Flow, you don't need to install anything. All you need to do is head over to labs.google/flow, sign in with your Google account, and you are inside the studio. Before we open a project, I want to show you something on the home page that almost nobody talks about, and it's called Google Flow TV. You'll see the icon for it on the top of the home screen. And when you click into it, what opens up is essentially a library of AI-generated videos that other creators have made inside Flow, organized into channels and short films. Now, this can be a cool workflow trick for you. You see, every single video on Flow TV comes with the full prompt that was used to generate it sitting right underneath the clip. So if you want luxury aesthetics, you can search the word luxury inside Flow TV, find a clip that matches the visual direction you're going for, copy the exact prompt that produced it, and use it as your starting point. You can also hit shuffle all at the top, which plays a continuous stream of clips across every category. And it's the fastest way to get a feel for what the model can actually do before you spend your own credits. Once you've explored Flow TV, you head back to the home page and hit the new project button to open a fresh canvas. And this is your main workspace for everything we built today. Quick tour of the interface so you don't waste time hunting for buttons. The left sidebar is where all your assets live. The All Media tab is the master folder that holds every image and every video you've ever generated inside this project. The Characters tab is where you build reusable people that you drop into any future scene, and we'll spend real time on this in the second demo because character consistency is the biggest unlock in Flow. The Scenes tab is where you actually assemble your final video by dragging clips into a timeline, and the Tools tab is the most underrated section of the entire product, which we'll come back to at the end. The bottom of the screen is your prompt bar, and the small settings icon next to it is where you choose between image or video. Set your aspect ratio, pick how many variations you want, and select your model. One thing worth knowing before we start: image generation inside Flow costs you 0 credits, which means you can generate as many images as you want completely free. Video generation costs credits depending on length, and you get 1000 credits on the Pro account, which is enough to make a full 60-second mini ad without burning through your balance. But today, let's try building something from scratch. Quick note: if you like such tutorials and helpful tips around AI, you should follow our channel so that you don't miss the next video we drop. Okay, let's click on New Project and try and turn this blank canvas into a finished 1-minute film. The first thing you do is click the plus button at the bottom of the screen that says Agent. The agent is essentially an AI creative director that sits inside Flow and helps you plan, structure, and generate your entire project through a conversation, instead of you having to write technical prompts one at a time. So if you've never written a video prompt in your life, this is what removes that learning curve completely. Now, let's give it a prompt. Here is the brief I am giving, inspired by the prompts we saw inside Flow TV. Act as my creative director for a 75-second luxury jewelry film, inspired by Cartier's Panther emblem. Break it into a 6-shot storyboard where a panther cub explores an empty library and discovers a glowing jewelry box. And for each shot, give me the setting, the camera move, the lighting, the mood. Keep the whole thing warm and intimate. So essentially, you gave the agent a role to play, you gave it a duration to work with, you gave it the brand reference for tone, you gave it the narrative arc, and you told it exactly what you want back. Before you kick off, open agent settings. You set confirm before generating to always, so the agent checks in with you before burning credits on something you did not want. You set your default aspect ratio to 16:9 for YouTube friendly output. You pick Nano Banana 2 for the images and Omni Flash for the actual video generation and hit save. Now you hit enter on the prompt and watch what comes back. The agent thinks and sends back is a complete 6-shot storyboard titled The Midnight Cub, with every shot specified down to the lighting setup and the camera move. Shot 1 is the silent maison, shot 2 is curiosity, shot 3 is the library exploration, shot 4 is the discovery of the box, shot 5 is the invitation, and shot 6 is the final reveal of the jewelry. If you're happy with the direction, go ahead. Now the agent doesn't blindly start generating all 6 shots the moment you approve the storyboard. Instead, it gives you 3 options. You can generate the Panther Cub first, or the library setting first, or you can go straight to the full 6-shot storyboard grid. The reason for this is consistency. If the Panther Cub in shot 1 looks even slightly different from the Panther Cub in shot 4, the entire film looks uneven. The same way, if the library in shot 2 looks like a different room from the library in shot 5, the illusion breaks. So the rule you want to remember forever is this: you lock the character first, you lock the location next, and only after both of those are locked do you generate the actual shots that use them as references. So click the first option, which is generate the Panther Cub. The agent asks you for confirmation before it spends any credits. If you click approve, it generates character concept images. Both renders look good. The fur looks realistic, the eyes have that deep amber color, and the lighting on the cheekbones gives it a mysterious quality. The agent asks which look we prefer. Let's type both into the chat because we want the agent to blend the aesthetic of the two going forward. You also have the option to upscale and download either of these renders right from the chat, because there's a button on each image that lets you bump it up to 2K resolution before saving. That's useful if you ever want to use the character in a thumbnail or poster. Now, let's move to locking the location. Let's choose to generate this library setting. These two renders of a grand Parisian library come back. Both are lit by warm lamplight and gentle moonlight from the windows.
Both have antique furniture and deep shadows. Let's upscale one of them to 2K and download it just to have the asset on hand. Now that you've locked the character and locked the location, the agent asks if you're ready to see the full storyboard grid. Yes, let's generate it. See, the agent has produced a single image that contains all 6 shots laid out side by side, with the locked panther cub appearing consistently in every panel inside the locked library setting, executing each of the 6 shots that the storyboard originally specified. The character looks identical in every frame, and the lighting stays consistent across the panels. Note that this was generated well because of the order in which we did the steps. First, we logged the character, then location, then generated the shots that used both. If you skip the locking step and try to generate everything in one go, you might get shots that look like different short films stitched together. But this is good, so let's tell the agent to continue and move on to the next phase, which is turning the storyboard into the actual moving video. Now, this is where our credits finally start getting used, so be cautious. First, let's tell the agent to generate all the shots one by one, and it automatically queues them up. The first shot is a slow push in through the empty library, with realistic lighting, real depth of field, and ambient sound of the room. You also notice something underneath the clip in the editor. There's a small text input field that says describe your edits. So if you want to change the color temperature or end the shot on a different angle, you can just type that instruction into the field and the model will reframe the clip for you. We'll test out this feature later. Okay, so now the remaining shots come in one by one. The panther cub walking across the floor of the library, the cub approaching a side table, the red jewelry box opening, the cub looking into the box, and finally a macro shot of a gold panther ring with emerald eyes for the final reveal. Once all 6 clips are generated, you go to the Scenes tab on the left sidebar, which opens a timeline at the bottom of the screen. Here you can drag and drop your generated clips in the order you want them to play. We click the Add Clip button and select each shot from the media library to add them. The timeline now holds all 6 clips lined up in the correct order. Now, let's hit play. What we have on screen is a finished 60-second Cartier Panther film. You can also save the project at any point. All you need to do is click the project title at the top and rename it Cartier. Then you click the 3-dot menu in the top right and select Download Project, which gives you a zip file of all your assets and the final cut, ready to share or repurpose anywhere. I have a special surprise for you. I am about to hand you something that is going to simplify your life. Google published the official prompting guide for Gemini Omni, the model that Google Flow is based on. The people who built the model are handing out an instruction manual for it. They are telling you exactly what kind of language Omni responds to, what kind of edits it can pull off on the first try, and how to phrase your asks to get something cinematic out of it instead of mediocre. Let me walk you through the whole guide quickly, and then I am going to show you a trick that lets you carry this guide with you into every project you open here on. There's 5 core building blocks in Omni. The first block is shot framing and motion. You tell Omni whether you want wide angle, medium or close up, and whether the camera should glide gently or rush suddenly. The result becomes cinematic if you use this feature. The second block is style. This is where you decide whether the whole thing should feel realistic or cinematic, grounded or majestic. And Google's own advice on this is interesting. They tell you not to over-engineer this part. You tell Omni the name of the effect you want and let the model work out the details on its own based on its training. The third block is lighting, and this is the unsung hero of every great frame in cinema. You tell Omni where the light is coming from, whether it is the sun, a street lamp or something off screen, and then you tell it the feeling you want the light to create, whether it is crisp, warm or ethereal. One line of lighting language does more for your output than almost any other line you could write. The fourth block is location, and the guide makes one useful point here. You do not have to describe every leaf, every brick and every detail of the setting. You can write something as simple as an alien landscape with clear azure water, and Omni's reasoning will fill in the rest using what it already knows about that kind of environment. The fifth block is the action itself, which covers what your subjects are doing, who the characters are, and how they are moving and interacting inside the frame. If you have any changes for these blocks, edit through natural conversation. You do not need to reprompt your entire scene to change one part. The guide shows you an input video of a boy looking at a butterfly, and with one sentence, change the butterfly to a bee. The model easily executes it. Then if you want to change the bee into a small swarm of fireflies, just type that. And there you go. Then they take a generated video of a violinist playing and with one line, change the camera angle to be over the violinist's shoulder. The entire shot reframes perfectly. Then they take a dark apartment building shot at night and with one line, the lights of the apartments start turning on in sync with the music. Every window starts lighting up to the beat of the audio they fed it.
The next section is application of real-world knowledge. With the older Google VO model, you needed to be precise and descriptive. With Omni, you do not. You can write something as broad as explain the difference between regular computing and quantum computing, visualize the sentence with a flat infographic style. And Omni's reasoning will build the entire animated sequence for you because it already knows what quantum computing is and how to visualize it. Then the guide moves into text rendering, which is honestly one of the cleanest things this model does. You pick the type of text, the placement on screen, the animation style, and the exposure timing. And Omni will render the text in perfect sync with your visuals, word by word, beat by beat. After that, the guide covers reference complex actions, where you ask Omni to apply a specific kind of motion across the entire video without describing it frame by frame. They show a skateboarder rolling through a street and they prompt it one line saying, edit this, keeping everything the same and add animated motion effects coming out of the wheels. The skateboarder is now leaving a trail of animated fire and smoke behind him across every frame. The final sections cover directing the camera with specific videography language like push in, punch in, dolly zoom, locked off, and static, plus camera types like film camera, natural smartphone zoom, and webcam style. The guide also covers referencing anything, which means combining images, videos, text, and audio together as multiple inputs into one prompt, applying new styles like anime, claymation, or watercolor while keeping the original motion intact, and keeping characters and objects consistent across a scene by anchoring them to a reference image, whether that reference is from real life or generated through Nano Banana. Now here is the move I want you to steal from me. You copy the URL of the entire guide, head over to Claude and paste the link into a new chat. The prompt you give Claude is, hey Claude, this is the prompting guide from Google DeepMind for Gemini Omni, and from now on, whenever I ask you for an Omni optimized prompt, you have to refer back to this document and give me a prompt that follows their structure. You hit enter, Claude reads the entire guide, comes back with a clean summary of the principles and confirms it will follow them. But you're not stopping there, because if you leave this in one chat, it disappears the moment you close the tab. You are going to turn this into a skill, which is Claude's way of saving instructions permanently, so it applies to every future conversation. Let's click the Create Skill button, title the skill Gemini Omni Prompt Optimization Guide, and Claude walks you through a quick setup. It asks how you want it to behave. Let's let Claude ask us a couple of quick questions first, then write the prompt. Then we choose the format, the and scope the skill should cover, click save, and that is it. The skill is now permanently saved into your Claude account and it fires automatically every time you ask for an Omni prompt from this day forward. To prove it works, let's open a new chat and ask, give me a Gemini Omni prompt. I want to visualize the poem Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Claude pulls up the skill in the background, applies everything it learned from the guide, and comes back with a fully structured prompt that has visual style, camera movement, lighting direction, and text rendering instructions, all written in the exact format Omni responds best to. Let's copy the prompt, switch tabs over to Gemini itself, because Omni does not only live inside Flow, it is also baked into the regular Gemini app. So if you do not feel like opening Flow for a quick one-off video, you can generate the whole thing from inside Gemini in seconds. In the Gemini sidebar, let's click Create Videos and a video generation panel opens up on the right. We set the model to Flash, change the thinking level to extended because extended thinking gives you the cleanest output for anything cinematic. Paste the optimized prompt into the input box and hit enter. Omni goes to work and the loop is complete. And here is the final result.
Twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are above the world so high.
And that's a wrap on the complete Google AI Tools Masterclass. At this point, the tools are free, the workflows are free, and now you know exactly how to use them. So here's my challenge to you. Go build something, a website, an app, a marketing campaign, a study assistant, a short film, anything at all. And then come back and tell me in the comments what you built. I read every single one and I'd love to see what you guys create. And if you want more masterclasses like this one, subscribe so the next one shows up in your feed automatically. Check out my previous masterclass on Claude Code. It's a complete beginner-friendly guide to building software without needing any coding background. I've put the link in the comments section. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.